everyone. So this is a new chapter of history, that is Indian National Movement. Guys, I just uploaded this picture to show that how the people of different age groups struggled a lot to get the independence from the Britishers. You can see that we are having a child, the oldish people, the young people, as well as the people from the different castes are here, that who are running or who are struggling for an independence. Let us start this chapter. Before proceed further, Indian National Movement. The name of the chapter I think you know very well. That is, in this chapter we are going to read about that what kind of national movement or the movements at national level took place in India when we want to get independence in our country. This is an era of 19 sorry, this is an era where Britishers were ruling in our country and the people of India were facing a lot of problems because of the Britishers. You know what? Earlier the Britishers came in India just for the purpose of trade. But later on, when they find that the Indian political system is very weak or we didn't have any kind of unity, so they just want to settle down in our country only. So now first let us see that how the national consciousness emerged in the mind of a people. Now it is mentioned that Indian people suffered from a very long time under the rule of Britishers, and when the educated Indians realize that the Britishers want to settle down in India and ultimately they are hurting the interest of the Indian people. So they start making plans to throw out these Britishers from the country because people faced a lot of economic exploitation as well as social exploitation, but economic exploitation was a major cause of the nationalism in our India. Next, it is mentioned the early association which were framed over here. Here we are having a few associations which were framed in the very beginning of this nationalism movement. Like the first political association was named as the Landholders Society. You can see the first association is Landholder Society, which was formed in Kolkata in 1838. Later on, we had one more association which was named as 18 Bengal British Indian Society, which was formed in 1843. Then the Madras Native Association as well as the Bombay Association was established in 1852. And the last, that is in 1885, this Indian National Congress was formed, but this party was, you can say that, the most popular party over here because they unite the people from the various sections of the society. They were not only focused to have a particular group, they were just focusing to get a independence, and that's why they were just in the favor of having a mass agitation. Mass agitation means mass movements, or mass agitation means that the movements at a higher levels. So now before we proceed, when this international movement start, basically it started from 1885 to 1905. We had two different groups of a people. The first is moderates and the other one is are radicals, or you can say that is them as an extremist. They are also known as extremists. You can also say to these radicals over here. Now these moderates were the earlier nationalists, and whereas these radicals were the assertive nationalists. That means moderates were, if I in short I can say, so the moderates were considered as the Naram Dal, whereas these radicals were considered as Garam Dal. They were known as Garam Dal over here. Garam Dal means they were in the favor of Britishers. They just simply said that we need some of our independence. But if I talk about these Garam Dal people, they want a Swaraj. That means a total freedom they want. They don't want any kind of rule of a Britishers in the country. They were totally against the British rule, but somehow these moderates were not totally against the British rules. These moderates or the Narandal people believed that we must have the policy, or we can frame some policy with the cooperation of Britishers. We can, they just simply said that let us cooperate with the Britishers, they might do some work for our welfare. But these Garamdal people were not were in the favor of non-cooperation. That means they simply said that we are not going to cooperate with these Britishers. We want a final kind of freedom from these people. Hopefully this is understand. Moderates were the people who were in the favor of the Britishers, or who just want we can have some slow changes, but the radicals or the extremists were the people who just want the sudden changes. They just don't want any kind of, you can say that they don't want any kind of favor from the Britishers. They just want that the Britishers should leave the place as soon as possible. Moderates were known as the Naramdal, whereas the radicals were or the extremists were known as the Garamdal. Now, in this movement, the partition of Bengal took place in 1905. And this partition of Bengal took place in 1905 under under Governor General of the Lord Curzon. Now they just play the form, or you can say that they play the tact of divide and rule. According to Lord Curzon, it is said that if these Hindus and Muslims are together, we cannot make a partition in our India. So they just start disunite the India in the form of divide and rule. They just split the Bengal in October 1905, and then Bengal was divided into the two parts, that is in the East Bengal and in the Assam, where the majority of the people in the East Bengal and in the Assam, majority of the Muslims were there, and rest of the people were left in the West Bengal. Now the decisions came in the hand of a Lord Curzon that how they are going to split these people. So they just simply formed the divide and rule formation over here, and with these strategies they separate Muslim people and Hindu people. They just separate the Muslims and the Hindu people. They kept Muslims people in the eastern areas, whereas the Hindu people in the western areas. That's why in today's era, or today right now, we are having the West Bengal in our India and Eastern Bengal is not in our India right now. Clear? So this was the divide and rule policy, because due to which the whole population of India was divided, and they just itself proved a rule of divide and rule. This Lord Curzon proved that if the people will be together, they cannot able to give harm to the Indian people. That's why the partition of Bengal took place over here. Now, when this partition took place, the same year, the Swadeshi movement was also launched. Basically, this movement was launched by the government. If we just come out the term of the Swadeshi, it simply means Swa plus Desh. That means Apna Desh, or the self-rule. According to this Swadeshi movement, they just want that we must be self-sufficient. That means that we should not get anybody's help from the external side, that is from the British sides. They said that if we want to bring the nationalism in our country, so we must be self-dependent, we must have self-rule in our country. So, in response to this Swadeshi movement, this movement was started from the town hall of Kolkata in on 7th August 1905, and in this Swadeshi movement they start burning the foreign goods. They start leaving the jobs of the Britishers, which was given by the British government. People starts leaving their jobs, and the students start leaving the government colleges, government schools, and some liquor shops were closed because the people just want to be self dependent. In short, they just want to leave each and every facility which was given by the Britishers over here. Hopefully, this Swadeshi movement is clear to you guys. This will be in your class 10th also, that what is the Swadeshi movement and all that stuff. So, I just want you to clear it from at this level only. The next is Muslim League and the Surat split. Now, this Muslim League and the Surat split started from the Bengal partition. As in, after the partition of Bengal, the Muslims were encouraged by the Britishers that they must form their separate party, because it was filled in the mind of the Muslims that if they join the Hindu people or the Indian National Congress, then ultimately they will be forced to convert their identity into the Hindus. So, with the fear of conversion from Muslim to Hindu, the Muslim people raised the demands of having a separate electorate or the separate seats in the parliament. That's why the Muslims thought that the Muslims had a feeling that they might lose their identities if they joined the Congress. So in 1906, Nawab Salimullah Khan and the Prince Aga Khan founded a Muslim League so that they can able to protect the interest of the Muslim people. And this Muslim League and the Surat split was in the result of conflicts between extremists and the moderates when the Surat session took place in 1907, because more extremists did not want to have this separate Muslim League or the separate electorates. They just want to have that Indian people like Muslims and Hindus should be together. They must have a unity in them. Only then they can able to have a stronger decision making power. But after this Surat split, when the Surat session took place, so they had a conflicts between moderates and the extremists, which result in the Surat split. Now the Surat was split. They had a different Muslim League for the Muslims, and the Indian National Congress was headed by the Hindu people, and mainly the Brahmins had a role in this INC. So that's all about the Indian national movement. This was in a very brief. Hopefully you guys can able to understand that. For the further topics, we'll have a next video and we will discuss our further topics in that particular video. Till then, you guys take care, and if any queries, you can drop in a chat box. Till then, take care. Bye guys.